Yo, what's up, man? I like your Insta post, Medusa, about men. Yeah, I'm right, no? Same goes for a woman, though. Women are also shit. Has to be said. Anyways, what's the script? Bro, you know why I went live? I was in bed. Someone wrote in the Discord, yeah, Aslan Ash is ranked in EU. But apparently he's already out. So, yeah, no point. I wanted to lock in, bro, and go fuck him up, but yeah, I don't think I will find him anymore. Anyways, what's the script, man? Hey, what's up, Houdini? What's up, man? I'm gonna, bro, I was in bed, man. I am gonna just do like a talking stream. We will do a Tekken stream soon. I guess in maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow, we will see. I will do a Tekken stream. We thank that person who said that. He lured me out of my fucking cave. Yo, Langjin, what's up? Yo, Agas. Conspiracy? Yeah, we do a little bit. What's up, Houdini, man? What's up? What's up, Big? What's up, Vegeta, Iman, Jaga, Raven, Happy, Electric? Welcome. Bro, listen, there is so much shit that came out about this Charlie Kirk stuff. You wouldn't even believe it. Like, the amount of numerology about this fucking situation is just absurd, bro. Yeah, someone in the Discord wrote Aslan Ash isn't ranked, so I went live. But I can't find him, and yeah, he's probably out already. It is what it is. So anyways, shall we wait a little bit before I give you the Charlie Kirk update? Bro, he is born on the same day and in the same month like George Floyd, first of all, which is very weird. He got killed 33 days before his birthday. The Discord deleted all his messages and his account and just said he never used it. I found out that the co-founder and like the what do you call this, man? Yeah, co-founder basically is Ashkenazi. And the other one is, they don't have the religious background, but his name is with ski. So that guy is also. So two of the founders, one of them is 100%, the other one just by name I can tell. Asan is still playing. What is his rank? Well, I don't know, man. I'm too tired. Didn't he die 34? No, 33. 33. I checked it. Okay, another thing. While Charlie Kirk was being discussed, they had a new bill introduced. When you basically say something against Israel or allegedly support terrorism, your citizenship in America will get revoked officially. There was a person in contact with the killer, and he is one of the biggest donors of Chabad Lubavitch, which is a Hasidic Jewish foundation, a group in Utah. And the jet that they used basically went off screen and couldn't be tracked anymore for a specific amount of time without any explanation. And the killer now, where they say he is the killer, says, like, he swears that he didn't do it. What else? There was so much more, bro. There was so much more. I don't have everything in my head. But yeah, I have a video where it goes through a few things. It is crazy. What's happening on September 21st? I heard they're doing some trumpet blowing in Israel. The trumpet blowing, they already did it, no? I saw a tweet about it where he was blowing the horn. I don't know, they are preparing for something big, I don't know. Something is gonna happen. The jet. What about the jet? Yeah, we can go through the jet. I found like the stuff. Even Grok admits that, by the way. That it was a suspicious jet and stuff like this. 5 minutes from the campus, a private jet. Yeah, a private jet. So basically, Kirk gets killed, and then the jet takes off. And while the jet takes off, and that one Jewish guy screams, "Shoot me, shoot me, shoot me," there was the other guy basically running away and using that jet. And while he was in the jet, they turned off the what do you call this? That thing that shows you on the radar. They turned that off. So only God knows where it went. I suppose Israel. That's so crazy. So yeah, everyone kind of around the world right now is accusing Israel. Straight up. And this is so weird. It's so dumb also, the way they do it. Also, apparently, it was the only flight for that jet in the entire year. Yeah. And the guy that owns the jet is a donor of Chabad Lubavitch. Which is also not normal. Right? Funny thing as well is that they blocked the... Oh, and they blocked the release of the Epstein files. Like, they had a voting, and they blocked the release of the Epstein files. Like, everything happened at the exact moment Charlie Kirk got killed. Yeah. And then they say the guy on the rooftop had a disassembled rifle, and then he assembled it again. Apparently, it was in the woods later, and he was wearing first a different shirt and a different shoes, and then he was wearing something else again. And when they took him, like basically detained him, he was wearing what he was wearing on the rooftop all of a sudden. So he changed his clothes 3 times. It's so mad. But anyways, everything is getting posted right now. You can literally just watch it. Okay, I guess we start with the first video. And in this video there's a lot of good things, but I think he made wrong interpretations, I must say. Like, he assumes that the assassination was fake. I don't assume that. I think it was real. That makes no sense that it was fake. I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. What do you make out of this, Medusa? What are your assumptions? Yeah, that Israel was it. Basically Mossad. But the thing is, with this type of stuff that I'm gonna show you now, you have to know numerology. Aside from all the like obvious like things with the jet and the donor for Israel and this and that the decoy was also an Ashkenazi person, I think it's a far left radical. Yeah, but the thing is, the far left is also run by Jews. So even if you say like far left, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that if a far leftist did this thing, that he did it alone. You know what I mean? There was a very powerful organization behind him, like Mossad. They use people sometimes. It doesn't need to be that, okay, if the person that literally pulled the trigger wasn't Jewish, that this isn't a Jewish situation, regardless. Because there's too many points that point towards the same direction, way too many, like way too many. It's not like 2, 3 or 4 things, it's like 12. It could also not be that deep, but maybe you have something else that I don't know. Yeah, I can make a little rundown basically. Okay? So Charlie Kirk, he received an invitation from Netanyahu 2 weeks ago to come to Israel, to the Wailing Wall, and also some promises for donations for, it's called TP USA, Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk declined the offer. And while he declined the offer, he simultaneously said that he is afraid that Israel is gonna kill him if he is too critical about Israel. What has he done? He was critical of Israel. He went, like one of his last podcasts one day before the assassination was with Ben Shapiro, where he started to like criticize a little bit low-key, and then you could see in the face of Ben Shapiro he was very angry. And the person, the decoy that was at the spot so that the real killer could escape, had like a fake weapon, and he screamed, "Shoot me, shoot me." And then all the police officers obviously focused on him, and he made a big scene, and he was a Jewish person. While this happened, this situation happening in Utah, Utah's density of Jewish population is 0.3 percentile. So it's not even a 1 percentile. So now you need to think, how high is the probability for this to happen if 0.3% of the population in Utah are Jewish? That's nothing. That's a handful of people. And then on top of that, you need to break it down again. From these 0.3%, how many were interviewed officially about 9/11? I guess not too many. Again, maybe 1% from the 0.3%. And this guy was also being interviewed on 9/11. And he was there on the assassination of Charlie Kirk one day before 9/11. You see where this goes? Like, there is too many consistent things that are statistically not possible. And even the campus where he got shot at, when you look from above, it looks like a menorah. Like, literally a menorah. It's very weird. Like, I could show you the picture if you want. And you tell me if you think this design, like, there is too many things. Like, one thing you can say in, like, maybe. 2 things, maybe. 3 things, okay, now it gets weird. 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm not even done yet. Okay, I show you. I show you the menorah first. And you tell me, how high is the probability then for that one? Not many campuses are designed that way. But here, take a look. This is the campus on the left. This is, well, a funny coincidence. What do you think of this? And now from this spot here, it's too vague. Okay, let's say this is too vague. I take that one. That one I take. It could just be a campus. Yeah, but how many campuses are designed in this specific way? You know? But I get it. I can understand that one. If you think this is too far-fetched, I get it. But we are not done yet. That I don't know, but I think it's common. No, it's not common. It's not common. I asked Grok if that form is common. It's not common. So, and then I don't know what you guys know about the number 33, but 33 in Masonry is like the number that is the most important number for these types of events. For example, in Corona, they all say like 33 new cases. 33. I can show you a clip, 2 minutes long, where all around the world, for some reason, the Corona cases were 33. Just so I can... because these things are important to them. Jewish people use numerology. This is just a known fact. If they believe in it, I need to, you know, talk about it. If they wouldn't believe in it, I wouldn't talk about it. So now, tell me, how high is the possibility that in the news, when they talk about Corona, that they use this number for the new cases? Just watch it real quick, yeah?
We have 33 confirmed positive tests.
We have 33 Pennsylvanians who have...
This person is the health secretary of America and is also Jewish, by the way.
tested positive for
COVID-19. Today we have 33 cases.
There were 33 new cases.
The state of Minnesota today reported 33 new COVID-19 related deaths.
There are 33 confirmed cases in Arkansas.
That's the largest single-day increase so far, raising the total to 33.
33.
There were 33 confirmed cases in North Carolina.
33.
There was 33 everywhere. Like,
yes.
I think that was Red Team Go. I think 33 is like Red Team Go. Everybody goes.
And now one could say maybe this is a coincidence, but it's not coincidence because this is not only America. You need to pay attention. It is all the states in America and outside of America, also all around the world. This is how powerful these people are. So Sri Lanka 33. China spreads to 33 million. Okay, 33. Sri Lanka already. Outbreak coming to Nagaland from affected countries, 33. Okay. Kazakhstan, 33. Tianjin, 33. Pakistan, 33. EU sees 33 corona cases so far. $33 again. Lululemon forced to close 33 stores in China due to COVID. Why isn't it 32 stores? Why isn't it 40 stores, 12 stores, 100 stores? No, it's 33. 33-year-old doctor who raised alarm on coronavirus dies. 33% of coronavirus cases in China.
In Hong Kong.
Singapore raises risk alert level as coronavirus cases rise to 33.
the number 30.
Coronavirus 7 new cases in Bahrain total up to 33.
We all know what that
Boston health officials monitoring 33 people who could develop coronavirus.
represents. Everywhere.
And this is why this 33 fucking shit is so important. I also looked into the number specifically, what it means for them specifically. Like, I looked into the history of it. It's like very, very, very deep. It's 33, but I don't see the link to anything. What do you mean? What do you mean? What is this number signal for? Oh. That is gonna be now a deep dive into the history of Freemasonry. So this, what they always do, the stars and stuff, 33, this is called the Holy Trinity model. Okay? And the Holy Trinity model stands also for like how to transform the world with Torah knowledge by using the heretic dialect, it's called. So, problem, reaction, solution. A 33 event is, for example, 9/11. So the problem is the Twin Towers getting attacked. The reaction is of the people. They want like to know what's going on. The solution is to invade Iraq. And the fight on terrorism begins, and that transforms the world. A 33 event. And by now, you probably know that 9/11 was done by Israel. So by the number 33, but why do they take the number 33? They could take the number 44 and say, yeah, but 44 is now the master number instead of 33. Okay, the Holy Trinity model aside that it's free, 1, 2, 3, and you need to now go back to the time of Jesus when he got crossed. That is for the Masons, the symbol 33. But it is free, 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 okay? So they nail the hand of Jesus 3 times, each limb. Left, right, and his legs on top of each other. They hammer 3 times. Those people later on will become known as the Freemasons. Their symbol is the hammer and the compass. The hammer stands for basically maneuvering the world towards their vision, which is the compass for the world. And that is a 33 situation. 33. That is the master number. Now, it doesn't stop here. 33 is the last degree that you can achieve in Freemasonry if you are not Jewish. Have you ever heard of the name or of this title, 33 degree Mason? That's what it's referring to. And after that comes only the Jews. I know this is a lot, but what shall I tell you? So, yeah, the thing is, Freemasons and Jews are the same. I've heard 33 is that the highest number. It's only the highest number for Gentiles. After 33 degree, there must be 32 degree, 31 degree, 30 degree, 29 degree, first degree. First degree is the Antichrist. Why is it capped on 33 for Shaquille O'Neal and all these stars? Because they are not Jewish. Yeah, of course there's more. So within Judaism, they have degrees again. And Freemasonry uses a book called Jewish Kabbalah Mysticism. I wonder why they use that book. And the Freemasons, later on, also were the people that built Solomon's temple. Hence, Mason. You know, a Mason is a builder. They have historically built Solomon's temple. What is Solomon's temple? That's the place of worship for the Jews for their Messiah. You know, the one where they have in Israel, there was like first Solomon's temple, second Solomon's temple. Now there's Masjid al-Aqsa and the Temple Mount. And they want to destroy that and build the third temple. Why is now the number 3 here again? Do you understand? And the Freemasons also believe in something which is like transforming the world with 3 world wars. World War I, World War II, and World War III. That number 3 is very important, bro. Very important. But the crucifiers of Jesus, were they not Roman? It was not Jews that crucified Jesus. Sorry, I don't remember. This is correct. This is correct. You have to understand that, as I mentioned before, you can be a Mason until the 33 degree, right? So the people that crucify effectively with their bare hands don't need to be Jewish. The person that orders it is then from the 30th degree, 30 or 29, 28, 20th degree, 3rd degree. You see how this works? So the Romans are, imagine, America. And in the same way, the Jewish people controlled the Roman Empire. They control now America. It never stopped. It was always like this. The new Roman Empire is America. You need to know this. And they were called the heretics. And the heretics, and the Pharisees ordered the assassination or the killing of Christ in this specific manner. So the people that, so you can say it like this. The Jews are Masons, but not all Masons are Jewish. Understood how this works? This pyramid of power? All good things are free. Exactly. And it was failed, he didn't got crucified according to Islam teaching and Quran. No, that's not true. Quran doesn't say that it didn't happen. Quran says that it did happen, but they were not successful in the sense of they just were left with his flesh, and when the soul is out of a body, the body doesn't matter. Because when it says like this, and then they basically crucified, and God made it appear that way. Made it appear that way means that the event itself takes place. But God takes the soul of Jesus before they can do what they want to do. That's an largely accepted view, by the way. That double stuff, that is just a low IQ take. It was made to appear that he was, yeah. But it wasn't as it appeared. Yeah, when you say that something appears that way, that means that you observe it and it looks like it, but apparently there is a deeper story to it. No, this doppelganger thing, this is old. This is an old script. Many scholars now reject this. Many scholars believe also in the fact that his soul got taken to God before they enacted it. Because the doppelganger... it makes no sense, to be fair. It really doesn't make sense. So anyways, let's finish this.
Every single day it was like, 12 more cases, which now brings the state to 33.
Yes,
we had 33 cases today.
Yes,
we had 11 cases, which now it's 33. 33 more people. I'm going, oh.
Doesn't really matter though. Yeah, just know as a Muslim you should believe that the crucifixion took place. The event itself is not a lie. Like, that event itself existed, but the implications are different.
Yeah. My God, how dumb do you have to see to not understand this is going on? Yeah.
So most people also think the symbol where they do this is a 6. Actually, it's 3. 33.
That was green light go. We're off to the races.
Yeah.
You've been subject to propaganda and lies by people who are very well trained in how they do that. And if you find one thing your government has said which is clearly not true, I ask you this. Why would you believe anything else they've told you?
Okay. Now that I gave you a rundown to what it means when you say 33, we look at the video and see where do we have the 33 in this Charlie Kirk situation.
Qui est un rituel codé après une lune.
So, there was a blood moon on September 7-8, after a blood moon, and on the eve of 9/11,
septembre, qui est 33,
which is a 33.
C'est un rituel codé après une lune de sang, et la veille du 11 septembre, qui
which is 33
Et
days
33 jours
before his birthday.
avant son anniversaire. 33, c'est leur signature maçonnique. C'est pour ça que la chasse à l'homme a duré.
The manhunt for Charlie Kirk's killer took 33 hours. What are the odds that this is the case? Tell me. Now that you see the meaning of 33, what do you think are the odds for a 33-hour manhunt? $33.
33 heures.
It only took
33 hours.
It only took 33 hours.
On avait aussi le tireur de New York.
So, gunman fatally shoots officer and 3 others in Midtown Manhattan office. The gunman, armed with an assault rifle, walked into a lobby and killed a police officer and 2 others. He killed another person on the 33rd floor before turning his gun on himself. He's just pointing
Qui s'est
this
tué au
out
33e
so you understand how important is 33, but I already gave you.
étage après 47 coups tirés.
That is also the angle 47 of this here. So this Masonic symbol, this is why I tell you to be careful of Andrew Tate. He's top G, right? So he's 33 degree Mason. He's this top G thing stands for that. So don't trust Andrew Tate.
47, l'angle du compas maçonnique. Ici, 33 pour ses initiales. 47 sur les
47 on the caps.
casquettes. La fausse fusillade de Trump.
This here, he calls it a fake shooting, and it was fake. It was literally fake. This one was fake. Why? Trump got, and I investigated this in the moments this happened for days, like literally hours long, every day. And because I was so obsessed with this situation, I found out something incredible, which got deleted then later on. But if you would need the evidence for this, I could eventually pull it up. The people that watched my streams back then remember. Trump gets shot on his ear, right? After 5 days, there is an employee that takes the pictures of the people at the White House. Okay? This was the first assassination attempt, number 1. He took a picture of Trump and he said, wow, the president's ear has already healed after 5 days. What happened shortly after that? Everyone went wild, took screenshots and stuff, and his account was gone. The official White House photographer, he also took all the pictures of the Obama administration, not only for the Trump administration. That guy was an OG. His account was gone within minutes. How do you think that is possible? Why is Tate controlled? He's fighting them on social media. He tries to say, it's time to wake up, don't be lazy, start working. He says he is next. Yes, I know, but this is the meaning of controlled opposition. You implant your people in key positions to still have an effect or to still be able to infiltrate the other side. They always do that. And for this like rise in anti-Semitism and fighting the Matrix and stuff, well, this stuff is so detailed that a person that hears this for the first time just can't understand it unless he's very smart. So imagine it like this. There is a plan for 3 world wars, and this plan is also to be found kind of in Judaism, where they say that the last war of these 3 world wars is kind of like Armageddon, in which Israel will be abandoned from the rest of the world, and its allies will turn their back on them, and all the surrounding countries basically will attack Israel. And that will culminate in like the biggest bloodshed ever and stuff like this. And they believe in that. And they expedite that situation on purpose. Who is in charge of the rise in anti-Semitism largely? Elon Musk. Guys like Andrew Tate. Okay. Elon Musk says he's aspirationally Jewish. Elon Musk also has 4 baby mamas. America's population density, Jewish population density, is 2.3%. All 4 of his baby mamas is Jewish. The odds for this situation to be the case is abnormally low, but still it is the case. So, Elon Musk then makes X, so Twitter, into X, and then when he takes over, he platforms the anti-Semitism situation, basically. They do it on purpose. 2.4% of 380 million Jesus, that's a lot of Jews. It's 2.4% in America, yeah? And 0.2 in the entire world. Yeah, I already looked at the structure, but there was people in the chat that said it's a coincidence, so yeah. He tried to help fighting corruption from within with Trump. He tried to help fight corruption from within with Trump. Okay. Trump is, his entire election campaign has been funded by Jewish people. His daughter is married to an Israeli. His entire cabinet is infiltrated by Jews. He has been to Epstein Island and is currently being blackmailed for pedophilia. How high is the probability that Mr. Trump is actually fighting the deep state? Or is it more likely that he is the deep state? I ask you directly. How high is the percentage, or how high is the possibility that his daughter is married to a Jewish person? You have to understand that the left and the right is owned by these people. His dad passed away in a Jewish hospital. I think he has connections high up and he's trying to balance this. I don't think so. I don't think so. Did Trump do anything that he promised? Did he release the Epstein files? Did he do it? You can't deny the fact that he was on Epstein Island and that he was friends with Epstein. So he is with the pedophiles. We would all be fucked already, I think. Maybe not. I don't think Trump is the hero you think he is. But let me cook something up. We're not done yet. Because the Trump situation is so important. So 5 days we can basically say, okay, you know what? This can't be true, right? When you have like a situation of 5 days and your ear heals by getting shot from an AR-15, that's impossible. Then there was a second assassination attempt that a lot of people don't even know about, but it was reported already. And the second assassination attempt did get stopped, and they said it was from Iran. And then Trump made a tweet. He said, if I am about to die, it would be a shame if America doesn't go to war with Iran, which is the #1 enemy of Israel. So on the second time, nothing happened to him. On the first time, his ear gets fake shot. I wonder what will happen on the third time. Now imagine they are propping America for civil war. Charlie Kirk's assassination obviously riles up the right against the left. The left is now the antagonist, and they will dilute the diversion from the Jews towards the left, so they can run the same script they always do. Left versus right. Left versus right. Left versus right. It's always like that. You know, we still don't know much about Thomas Crooks. I find that weird. I know a lot about him. Did you know that he was Jewish? Did you know that he appeared in an advertisement video for BlackRock? Which all of its CEOs are Jewish? I knew he was in BlackRock ads. Yeah, BlackRock is owned by Jews. The CEOs are Jews, like Larry Fink, etc. And he was Jewish himself. But just that he was a nerd Reddit guy. Well, he was a Jewish nerd Reddit guy. Why is it always a Jewish person involved in these assassinations? You got to ask yourself that. That's not a normal occurrence if they are only 2% of the population there overall. They can't be 100% of the time in these situations then, but they are. even with the JFK assassination. The guy that killed the killer of JFK in prison was called Jack Rubenstein, and he was Jewish. Is that a coincidence still? I don't think so.
Pété 3 mois, 3 semaines et 3 jours avant son élection. Donc un pro-Trump, pro-Israël avec casquette MAGA, ça n'a rien de spontané. Il sacrifie son rôle, pas son corps. Netanyahou lui rend hommage.
So, and then, what are the odds now when we go on... I swear, this is so weird, but I couldn't believe it at first myself, but did you know that they released this series? Yeah, you can Google this series.
D'Israël. Le même.
The same day a series basically got established on September 10th. And you know, look at the
Une
episode.
série Hulu sort.
Look at this episode.
Avec un
on Hulu,
politicien
sorry. A politician getting shot in the throat.
Abattu à la gorge. Copie basse rituel pour amplifier le basculement de conscience.
What are the odds that this releases on that day? What are the odds? What are the odds, bro? I don't know, bro. How high the percentage is even for this to happen. Like, I don't know. It might be 0.00003%, maybe. Maybe. And then, we are not done yet. We are not done yet. So now I drew all these conclusions to the Jewish people, right? But I'm not done yet, and that's why I am so stubborn on calling this an Israeli inside job, because Charlie Kirk gets killed. One of the last persons that he had an interview with was Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is Jewish. Ben Shapiro now expressed that he wants to take over his platform, Turning Point USA. No joke. Literally. How high are the odds for this?
It's still up to us. I saw a lot of rumors online today. I was made aware of this by my team. That I canceled some sort of college tour. That's bullshit. I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. So will we all, I am sure. Because we're Americans, and we're not going to be deterred. Charlie's voice is not silent. We're going to pick up that blood-stained microphone where Charlie left it. And to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion, who believe that they have ownership over public spaces and can violently threaten and kill people who speak freely, we are not going to stop. And I have two words. Fuck you. We will not stop telling the truth. We will never stop telling the truth. We will never stop debating and discussing. We will never stop standing up for what America is and for what she should be. And we will never let Charlie Kirk's voice die. Goodbye to my friend, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing for your family and for your country and for all of us.
Okay. So another weird situation, which is statistically, again, a little bit impossible. But it's not even over there. Obviously, it's not. Ay, caramba. This is so dumb, bro. But anyways, oh, good point. Now we just, I look up real quick for the people that didn't see it, what he said on his interview. And then we go on Netanyahu, that has a very high interest in this entire situation. So basically, this was before he wanted to pick up his blood-stained microphone.
We've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, it's like maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So, Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your opinion, what would a good outcome 5 years from now be, and how does one...
Fucking dickhead. And then we go on fucking... Bro, okay, another one. What was the news outlet in the world that was the first outlet to report on the death of Charlie Kirk? MSNBC? I will pull it up for you. The Jerusalem Post in Israel was the first news outlet to report on the death on Charlie Kirk. What are the odds? What do you think? It doesn't stop there. It doesn't stop there. Charlie Kirk had a memorial drawn in Israel for him within, I think, 4 days. Shall we look it up?
Behind me is a mural.
Okay, now look at this. We can also ask Grok how quickly, historically, things like this are drawn. Like for on the example of maybe George Floyd and a lot of other people that got assassinated. Let's see.
This right there behind me is a mural in honor of Charlie Kirk. This could be the first mural in his honor in the world.
It is
here in Israel. This is how much he meant to us, because he was a champion of the Judeo-Christian alliance. He was a staunch friend of Israel, and we will never forget those that stand for the truth. So we honor his memory, and from here we vow to stand together for the truth, because we are under attack, not just in Israel, but globally. The truth is under attack. Let's stand together and let Charlie...
Okay, so the Jerusalem Post is the first to report on Charlie's death. The first mural drawn in the entire world of Charlie is also in Israel, coincidentally. And I just ask you again, what are the odds? What are the odds? Like, you have to prepare this. Like, you can't just bang this out in 2 days, bro. How is that possible? Unless you know it's gonna happen. Okay, we're not done here also. What were the odds when Charlie's death got uploaded in this type of book 1 day before he died, where the publishing date is September 9 instead of September 10? Where you have the literal link on the Wayback Machine and can still go and look it up. I hope, if it's not deleted somehow. Well, I guess it's deleted now. I swear it was there. I swear on my life it was there. Oh, there it is.
These guys not know this was taking place?
So I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard
the champion for Israel, let's see how he talks, the champion. They pretend as if Charlie didn't flip-flop on them at all. They pretend as if Charlie didn't get threats from Jewish donors for TPUSA. He got threats. He literally got threats, and he said, I can't criticize Israel. I can criticize it less than an actual Jewish person. Isn't that weird? The clips are there.
the story, I still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that is an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. Wow. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate, non-conspiracy question.
How did they allow October 7th to happen? Because it was another 9/11. Because it was another 9/11. As simple as that. The Jews did 9/11. They did October the 7th to their own people. Believe it or not. Not a fly can go into the airspace of Israel without getting noticed, and you want to tell me a 20 minutes drive they can't do, and they let them do it with GoPros for 6-7 hours, film everything, and then show the world here? Now we need to fuck them. And then they say they are Amalek, that we need to kill their children, we need to kill the ox, sheep, you know who we are fighting against, and this and that. We need to make the place in which they are living in uninhabitable. They are projecting their Old Testament enemy onto the Palestinians, and they call them Amalek. Netanyahu himself on stage admits that. It's not like you need to read in between the lines. They just say it. Okay. Another weird coincidence now we're gonna go through. Let's see what you think about that. How high are the odds here? How high is the possibility that this is the case now? Still about Charlie's death, by the way. Look at this jet. N888 kg. This jet took off like 5 to 10 minutes away from the campus, basically. This was a 10-minute ride towards there, to this jet. While the man that was screaming, shoot me, shoot me, shoot me, the Jewish guy, the old man, that was also coincidentally being interviewed back then on 9/11, distracted everyone while the real killer could flee towards here, take this jet. This jet was being funded by a person that donates regularly huge amounts to a Jewish organization called Shabbat Lubavitch. Okay, here, a private jet took off from Utah airport 45 minutes after the murder of Charlie Kirk with its transponder deactivated. So now someone could say, yeah, but just because a jet takes off there and it's owned by a dude that has some ties to Jewish organizations, that is not weird. But it is weird when that very same jet turns off the transponder so you can't track where it's going. Or is that also maybe just a coincidence? How many coincidences did we have today? Maybe 15? Maybe 20? These are the dudes. You can't make it up. Why is it in your opinion that they show this alleged killer who is conservative white from Utah? Well, the thing is that a killer at the moment is denying that he did it, by the way, in case you did not catch on to that yet. I think they want to blame it on trans people somehow, because they keep saying, and this is the only information that is so important to them, because you know they try to create a civil war type of situation, and it plays into their book at the moment well with this like trans shooters and stuff. That the person that killed Charlie was living with a female, with a male that was transitioning into female. I can show you the clip. I don't know why they even, like, the way they talk about it is so ridiculous. It's like a groiper, allegedly, with a transgender boyfriend, which is incompatible, because groipers think, which I do also, that the trans movement and the LGBTQ movement is being funded and created by Jews. So how can a groiper be a groiper and at the same time think that it's okay to have a trans girlfriend? You know, it makes no sense. What is a groiper? A groiper is a movement of people that for a very long time were saying that the world's problems like 9/11, JFK, LGBTQ feminism, communism, USS Liberty has been done by Jewish people because they are running a plot of world domination behind the scenes, and that the government is not real, and that the left and the right is fake, and that they are all owned by Israel. And the main head of this movement is called Nick Fuentes, and he basically talks about these things. That's a groiper, largely. So they are trying to paint this on this group of people that were one of the biggest groups that pushed this like truth movement against like the Jews. So interesting. Why would they take him? You know, makes maybe sense now. Slowly. It's first they pretend as if he is a groiper, and then they show, hey, look, a groiper has a trans girlfriend. You know, it's just an attack on their movement, while we know this is Mossad. This whole thing is Mossad. Medus, why did his dad sell him out though? No idea yet. I have not enough information about it. No idea. I'm not gonna say anything until I have more clues. To cause more unrest in my country. Yeah, of course they are trying to go towards civil war. And you have to understand, the Freemasons have two big like sayings. One is a new world order, Nodus Ordo Seclorum, and the other one is Ordo Ab Chao, which Marina Abramovich explained that like Trump is like the highest tier of this Ordo Ab Chao. What that means is order by chaos. So whenever something happens which puts them against the wall, they create a division, like a distraction operation, which creates chaos and diverts the attention towards that so they can fix something else. So while this was happening, chaos, Ordo Ab Chao, they have first of all made polling on the Epstein stuff, so that shit is now off the table. And they have also introduced a bill that when you basically criticize Israel and allegedly by that support terrorism, that your citizenship in America gets revoked. While that happened, that is the meaning of Ordo Ab Chao. Confusion is a strong tool for mind control trained even in CIA. Yeah. Weird stuff. There was more. It's not over yet even. There is way more. Okay, let's see the official statement of Netanyahu now. Netanyahu doesn't stop posting about Charlie Kirk, by the way. I mean, he has a war going on. He has quite some time for this, for some reason. Trying to make a country a police state. Are handling this peaceful. Huh? What do you mean? Aren't you in risk in Germany, Medus? No, everyone here is anti-Semitic. They don't have time for me. Everyone here hates Jews, bro. Openly, by the way.
Israel.
Or when you go on his page, bro, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, Charlie Kirk, and obviously here these fucking motherfuckers going to the wall.
I think his visit here is a testament to the Marco Rubio and his wife, Janet. I think his visit here is a testament to the durability, the strength of the Israeli-American alliance. It's as strong and as durable as the stones of the Western Wall that we just touched under President Trump and Secretary Rubio and their entire team. This alliance has never been stronger, and we deeply appreciate it, not only on behalf of the people of Israel who live today, the generations of Jews who preceded us, and hope that we build our state anew with friends like you. Thank you, Mark. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you for.
Amazing. This is your Secretary of America. Why does he keep looking on the ground? Because he is cucked. Why shouldn't he?
All of us who know him, who knew him, remembered for so many things today. And one of them is...
And while they show him, they show all the people that died in 9/11.
his staunch support of Israel. He visited in 2018, I remember. That was the first time I met him. It was at the U.S. Embassy after it had moved to Jerusalem from Tel Aviv. That was one of then President Trump's first term decisions. And Charlie was there also the following year, supporting Israel's war against Hamas and against the anti-Semitism that followed. Watch.
When we as Christians go to Israel, we are celebrated and treated like the most amazing you could ever imagine. Okay? Israel changed my life. When I went to Israel, I was reading Bible stories my whole life as a committed Christian. And all of a sudden, I had a life-changing experience.
The nation of Israel actually has a place in God's plan for us on this planet. The nation of Israel.
Look at the caps. This 47 shit is important.
Israel actually has a place in God's plan for us on this planet. There's something special about Israel, and I think we have a moral commitment to that land. The Israeli community has been very welcoming of us as Christians and our faith to the homeland.
And it will not go unnoticed. The Israeli Foreign Ministry said this morning Charlie Kirk was a steadfast friend of Israel and a true ally of the Jewish people. He stood proudly for the Judeo-Christian values which bind Israel and America. And Charlie's fearless commitment to truth and freedom cost him his life. Violence may have taken him, but it cannot silence his legacy. May his memory be a blessing. The Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, in focus now. Prime Minister, you have your own memories of Charlie Kirk. Please share them.
Well, Harris, before I do that, I have to say that we're just heartbroken. Myself, my wife, my family, my son, actually, on his 2019 visit to Israel, had lunch with him and his wife, Erica. We're shattered.
Trump is the 47th. I think by now you understood that Jewish people care a lot about numerology, right? So Trump is the 45th and 47th president of the United States. Within his reign, the Jewish people think that something will happen, that the Messiah will come somehow, and that they call them the mini Messiah. 4 plus 5, first term, is 9, and 47, second term, 4 plus 7 is 11, equaling 9/11. Trump is America's biggest 9/11, and after this, everything is gonna be in the bin, I promise you.
First, as human beings, because a great human being has been taken from us. Was an extraordinary friend. He wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating for Israel and forming alliances to defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued our bond, the bond between America and Israel. He did so many things to defend free speech. He had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, you can come and debate me. He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him.
I didn't say give up.
This
I
is
just
a
say
worldwide
don't
problem.
put your trust
the
in
people
Trump.
on the extremes, the Islamists, the radical Islamists, and their union with the ultra progressives. They often speak about human rights. They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies. Whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or they try to.
Whether it is President Trump who was almost assassinated twice, I wonder if the third time is the time where it actually happens. On the third time, bro, I'm telling you. The next time you hear about this, it's GG's.
Kill me here too, but they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
You know, the young people in both our countries look to him, and I don't know what is being said with regard to that right now in Israel, but I am curious. I mean, he is a beacon for so many in his young generation. Your last quick thought.
Look, sometimes people can be irreplaceable. Charlie was 31 years old. He was a great hero of our common roots and common culture. My older brother, was 30 years old when he died trying to successfully rescuing Israeli hostages that were held by German and Arab terrorists in Entebbe, Uganda. And I often I thought about my brother all my life, and I think of Charlie. I'll be thinking of Charlie all my life. You know, they're gone, and maybe they're once in a generation, but generations then live by their legacy.
Amen to that. Prime Minister Netanyahu, grateful for your time today.
Let's look into the comment section. So they are propping up this Charlie as like this gladiator for Jews. It's passing the vibe check. Charlie Kirk's murder reeks of professional hit-like, orchestrated by Israeli intelligence or their proxies. His recent shift in rhetoric questioning Israel's actions in Gaza and Epstein's ties crossed a red line. The precision of the shot, the immediate flight of the assassin, and the suspicious plane leaving Provo suggests a well-planned operation. Kirk's death serves as a chilling message to any conservative leader considering dissent against Israeli interests. The fact his organization was heavily funded by Israeli money and he was openly discussing Epstein files makes his assassination a clear warning to others. Betray Israel and die. Bro, the people woke up, just look. It's not just me or some far-right crazy people or Nazis or anything of that order. The truth is the truth. It doesn't matter if you're on the left, if you're on the right, if you're in the middle, if you're black, if you're brown, if you're white. It is humanity against the Jews. I'm telling you. That's the truth. You have to look into these things. Look how many people woke up to this. These people are not all just crazy or just hate Jewish people for the sake of hating. They really don't. And I certainly didn't also. I never cared about these people. They made me care.
Yes.
Then, right? Megan, it would be one thing if
That's
it was
right.
one text or two text. It is dozens of texts.
Yes.
Then we start to say, hold the boat here. And to be fair, some of my really good Jewish friends are like, that's not all of us, it's all, but these are leaders too, though, right? These are stakeholders, right? And so, look, I'm afraid because, right? I'm Megan. Jewish donors, they have a lot of explaining to do, a lot of decoupling to do, because Jewish donors have been the #1 funding mechanism of radical, open border, neoliberal, quasi-Marxist policies, cultural institutions, and nonprofits. This is a beast created by secular Jews. And now it's coming for Jews, and they're like, what on earth happened? And it's not just the colleges. It's the nonprofits, it's the movies, it's Hollywood, it's all of it.
What does he mean by that? So it's not only political. It is entertainment. It is Hollywood. It is the music. It is the movies. They own it all. But you never knew about it, that's all. You just never knew. There was a famous man in Germany. He said the same. Most of you, or most people, just 10 years ago would have said that he was crazy for saying these things. But now, I guess he was right. About those things, he was right. You can't deny it. And for anyone that is still on the fence with this, they will make it so obvious that even the last idiot will get behind it. Even the last idiot. If you live, bro, I was talking to a girl. She's a lawyer. And yeah, she started to ask me about Jews, bro. Random people in the Tekken community are messaging me and saying, bro, I understand now what you were talking about. This is only the beginning, and whoever thinks I'm stupid or crazy or whatever, bro, you can suck my dick, because in a few months, bro, you will not believe how the ground beneath your feet will just disappear when your worldview just collapses. When you realize that you have been lied to all your life, that all of this shit was true, that conspiracy theorists are not just hateful or crazy or dumb or have a low IQ, but that all these things you could have said to yourself. Because you were so blind that you were gaslighting no one else but yourself.
Ability sometimes, but it goes to the point where if, for example, if I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government without backlash than actual Israelis do. It's
been
almost
so
as if
unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Like, I host a person that I moderate the debate of, mind you, right? And I give equal time to Josh Hammer, equal time to a pro-Israel advocate, and my moral character is being put into question. And so I think it's a hyper paranoid, like, we're just going to try to, we're going to just stamp out everything type of practice.
It's like there's some rule you can't go there when it comes to Israel.
Well, you and I believe that we're Americans and Americans first, period. End of story. We are citizens of this nation, okay?
That's right.
Israel, we have funded, we have supported, not like we're going to, but we're like, honestly, the way you are treating me is so repulsive. I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite, but my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions, not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, I mean, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages.
I think it's offensive to those of us who have been out there defending them in many instances against critics on our own side. And now you have a couple of comments like, well, what about?
Kirk's dad was an architect for the Trump Towers also, I know. I know. I looked a little bit lately into a little bit more in detail what Hitler said about Jewish people, by the way. And I found something that I was not so aware of in the beginning. He said that in order to destroy the countries from the inside out, the Jewish people, with the help of the Freemasons, specifically he said with the help of the Freemasons, because he saw it as an organization of the Jewish people, and that within the Masonry lodges there is always Torahs. And that they push degeneracy and normalize perversion and like gender dysphoria, and by that they weaken the countries from the inside out and use the propaganda machines like the theater shows. Well, back then you didn't have Netflix, so what you have now, TV and Hollywood, was back then theater. Yeah, and then basically what they did, they raided all the Masonic lodges and burnt them down. And the books that they said they burnt books, I was not aware that they burnt Mason, like Freemasonry books. Not only did they burn the LGBTQ books about gender conversion and cross-dressing and stuff, they burnt books of Freemasons. And they said that the ideology of the Masons and the ideology of the Jews is the same. Yep. He was pretty much spot on. He was a very smart man, I can't lie. And also, when he talked about basically the parts where they show you in history class where he talks about total war and attacking, they left out the fact that it was a question to the people. He said the almighty Judea, or the almighty Judaism, because basically what they were saying is that the strongest force on the planet was Jews and Judaism. And that after Judea declared war on Germany, he said the almighty Judaism has declared war on Germany. And now I want to ask you, do you want to go down with or without a fight? And never despair and never give up? Because the one thing that is most important to the nations is its own people. And he didn't say it out of the perspective of only Germans. He said it out of the perspective of the people of the world. And then he said, Palestine and the poor Arabs are defenseless. They are abandoned. You see what they do to them. But neither the Czechoslovakia nor Germany is defenseless. And we are surely not abandoned. And we will fight. So that they may not make a second Palestine in Germany and destroy our people. He was right. He was right. Medusa, what's your opinion that he didn't just go for Jews, he went after blacks, non-whites, disabled people and shit, and the German soldiers were on meth? Well, the thing with this situation is that you got to understand that Hitler had Jewish people in his own command. And many of them betrayed them, and the meth situation, for example, that was not something that he ordered. You have to also understand that it makes no sense for them to go after black people if they had black people in their army, in the SS. And they had Muslims in the SS. And he was also talking about how Germany either becomes Christian or Islamic. And I have his voice on that. It's not like something where I pull out some, I don't know, pamphlet that is not verifiable or something, where he literally said himself, our nation either becomes Christian or Muslim. He was not sure on it. I wouldn't be surprised if he used drugs at the end, though. I think he was under tremendous pressure. That doesn't need to make him, you know, it's... He probably did also bad things, you know, but in a bad situation, what are you gonna do? You got to do bad things sometimes, I guess. I'm gonna play Arslan tomorrow or something. So what do you disagree with him doing and what do you agree with? Well, I need to verify what the things which they tell us were true or not. I agree with him that, for example, I understand why he put a Star of David on all Jewish people. Back then, it was so weird. When I heard this for the first time, I was like... Because I thought they were just a religion. I didn't know it was like a 0.2% of the world population that work hand in hand together to take over every spot in every part of human endeavor to push a messianic fucking script that is to the detriment of the rest of humanity. But anyways, you see how nowadays people are saying, hey, this guy is Jewish, look, this guy is also Jewish, look, early life Wikipedia. Putting a star on David on someone back in the days was Wikipedia. So I do understand why you need to point out who it is, because they didn't want these people in positions of power because they abused it. And they also said the reason why we need to do this, because whenever they get pushed out of any society for the past 2000 years, back then they already discussed 2000 years, they always reorganize and infiltrate the countries by changing their names. So therefore, they started to build like an way to find out who is Jewish by measuring the nose and stuff like this and the form of the head. You know how they show in TV that he wanted to say that the German race is better or superior? It was not because of that. That's a lie. He did it because they couldn't know sometimes who is lying and who is not. So they try to understand how they look, so they can distinguish them. You see how I did it last time? You know, I saw the Charlie Kirk murder, and then I saw this old man, and without seeing his name or without seeing anything about him, after 3 seconds I said, that guy is Jewish. It's because Jews is not a religion, it's a race. When you see a Jewish face with Jewish eyes, Jewish ears, and a Jewish nose, the myth of this just being a race is of this just being a religion is erased. And when you realize that you can only be Jewish if your mother was Jewish, that means that the genetics play a role into this. And when they say that the Germans said that they are the best and they are the Aryan race, it's not true. That's an accusation, but it's a confession, because the Jews believe that they are God's chosen people. The Jews believe that everyone else is not a human. The Jews believe that their genetics is superior. The Germans didn't believe that. The Germans said that the Jewish people want to erase the Aryan race. And the Aryan race has been written down by many Jewish intellectuals on how they need to eradicate these people. That's true. And Mark Zuckerberg looks Jewish here. When I see his eyes and his nose, I can tell he's Jewish. Just think about it, bro. A people that say they are God's chosen people. A people that say non-Jews are human animals. A people that say that their genetics is superior. All of a sudden have an enemy, and everything that they think about themselves, they say the other people think about this about themselves. How is that possible? You think that about yourself, you have that in your religion, but as always you accuse the people of what you are guilty of. This is just the Jewish way. I have looked this up in many different cultures, even many different cultures. They always say that. They always accuse the people of what they want to do to them. For example, 6 million Jews died in the Holocaust. They wrote that before a single person even got attacked. And then after World War II was over, there was a Jewish group. They because they say, yeah, we have a blood libels, and they say we poison the wells, and that's not true. First of all, the Palestinians right now, I can show you videos of Jewish people poisoning wells, throwing dead animals into wells so that it pollutes the water and that it poisons the Palestinians that have no other way to get water. I can show you the videos. And then also historically this is proven. There was a group of Jewish people, they tried to poison the water supply in order to kill 6 million Germans. Every accusation is a fucking confession, bro. How is that possible, man? You got to be satanic. There's something needs to be abnormal with you, because everything is upside down. That's the reason why they have this seal of Solomon. This symbolizes their struggle. It's like they are the opposing force to humanity. Believe it or not. I don't understand how they can be like that. I really don't understand it. Now there must be said one thing about the good Jews though, because they exist. There's a few good ones. There are not many though. Not many. But there is a few good ones. And I hope for the good ones that they get recognized. Because I don't think that you deserve anything bad if you're not bad. You know what I mean? Now you have to understand the following. All the good ones get killed by them. Like the good Jews in history, they got killed by other Jews. And you have to also understand that these... imagine an onion. And an onion, you can keep peeling it, right? The outer shell of this onion is Khazarian Jews. That are the European Jews that everyone accuses of being not the real Jews or not really Semites. Because they have no genetical connection to the 12 tribes of the Israelites. They are of a kingdom that just adopted that religion later on, and they were into devil worshipping. Sacrificing children, Moloch and stuff like this. It's the kingdom of Khazaria. And these are the Ashkenazi. Now, who were the people that were targeted by the World War II situations and who keep always getting... Like, who are the people that die in these situations? It's the Ashkenazi. The National Socialists, they didn't call themselves Nazis. That term came as a word, a derogatory word, that the Judea invented, and they called them Nazi. Candace Owens will start streaming in 4 minutes. They are lying about Charlie Kirk. All will be revealed. Give me the link, we watch it. So the Ashkenazi are the fighting unit of the Jewish people, but they don't see them as real Jews also. So the ones that they always sacrifice in the rituals are these Jews, the Ashkenazi. They don't like them. They don't like them. And most of them are also these secular Jews. They are not really religious, but still think God promised them the land and stuff like this. You know, it's a little bit convoluted. But how can you not believe in God and in the same time say you are not religious, but then claim that God gave you this land? You don't know God. You don't believe in God. How can you say God gave you this land if you say you are an atheist? Yeah, I am Jewish, but I am an atheist. I live in Israel. Yeah, why are you here? Yeah, God promised me this land. Yeah, I thought you don't believe in God. And those people are the people that will be fucked. You know, the fucking inner circle of the Jewish people is not gonna get sacrificed in Israel. What did you think? It's only these European idiots, man, that call everyone Goyim, but in reality are Goyim themselves when they would do just one genetic test. Imagine, bro, imagine thinking you are Jewish, but you're not really. Calling other humans Goy while being one yourself. That's a weird fucking destiny. Okay, I am on Candace Owens. On YouTube, Candace Owens, or where? Or Rumble, or... Just give me the... Just give me where it is. Ah, yeah, I found it. Okay, let's see what she's saying. If she doesn't connect it to the Jews, I turn it off. Because it is the Jews. If she says Mossad and Israel is also okay. We let that one slip. I can't hear shit. Can you hear some? Where's the sound? Nah, Nick Fuentes gets more. Hey Goyim. Alright. Hey Goyim. Good night, Vesperanto. What's your opinion on Nick? I am friends with one of his best friends, so I do believe that he is real. I don't think he's controlled.
All right, you guys, we're going to
and
jump
I don't
right into
say
this
that
with
about
no
most people.
introduction. There's a lot that I would like to speak with you guys about. Can't wait to hear your feedback. A lot of lies that are being put out there, narratives that I would say are half-truths or just misrepresentations entirely. And I don't really see the reason for that. First and foremost, to let you know, last week was not a dream. Charlie Kirk, my friend, is dead. And he was publicly executed. I want to make that clear. Charlie Kirk was publicly executed before the world. And as we are all searching for answers, the ones that are being supplied to us are not making a lot of sense. And some people, I would say, are speaking too much, or speaking on behalf of other people. I don't like it. I will say something that I think brought the world a lot of relief, also, sadness. We were grieving with her, was when his wife, Mrs. Erica Kirk, addressed not just the nation, but the entire world. Her words were very powerful. And we just have a very brief portion of her remarks, which you should pursue in their entirety. But here she is.
If you thought that my husband's mission was powerful before, you have no idea. You have no idea what you just have unleashed across this entire country. In this world, you have no idea. You have no idea the fire that you have ignited within this wife. The cries of this widow will echo around the world like a battle cry. To everyone listening tonight across America, the movement my husband built will not die. It won't. I refuse to let that happen. It will not die.
Beautiful, powerful words. Charlie had just one wife. What we got to see across this weekend is that there were so many people around the world, like she said, who were deeply moved by Charlie Kirk throughout their lives, and of course have been deeply moved by this tragedy. And what she is describing there, that fire, a lot of us are feeling it. I am definitely feeling it. I had a very tough weekend. A very tough weekend. I will say this, my entire life, I've not been much of a crier. It is not my choice emotion. I'm not a person who bursts into tears, and some people are like that. This weekend, I didn't just cry, I wept. I wept for Charlie, obviously. I didn't make it through the tribute to him on Friday, and for those of you who wanted to see me in a moment of weakness, that was delivered to you. Fair. Yeah, I watched my friend get shot in the neck. Yeah, that's what happened. I just want to say that he was publicly executed again before the world. The question is why, right? You know, when you are in a state of grief, you go through a lot of emotions, and I'm arriving right now at a lot of anger. The audacity of some people. It has taken much restraint and prayer, and I had to speak with a priest. I had to go to confession. These emotions that I am having, wanting to respond with Charlie in his own words, really. People that are coming forward and saying this is what he thought and this is how he should be remembered. It just feels really inappropriate to me. I didn't know what to do other than to scroll through messages between me and Charlie, regarding which there are a ton of them. And kept going back and watching the many videos of us dancing to the song Power. And it felt appropriate to reach out to Ye, speaking about things, talking about his mode when he wrote the song. You know, when you wrote the song Power, why did we have it as our hype song? Because the song is about the ability to find it within yourself to become what you know you are capable of becoming inside of a matrix, when you just realize everything is dishonest, that everything is performative, that people are dishonest, that they are going to try to stop you from being great. In fact, it's the end of the song, the question that he asks at the end of the song, that's the most important. Ye asks, do you have the power to let power go? Do you have the power to say no to power? You know, I told you guys that Charlie was going through a spiritual transformation at the end, and all of the usual suspects were really angry that I hinted towards that. What do you mean? You're not allowed to say that. They were attacking me, trying to make me fearful, to speak out and speak about the things that I know. I'm not feeling very fearful right now. I am, like I said, very angry. And I found, Charlie's favorite portion of the song. I'll show you the text between him and I, because this feels very relevant right now. This is, again, lyrics directly from the song Power, but I just needed time alone with my own thoughts, got treasures in my mind, but couldn't open up my own vault. My childlike creativity, purity, and honesty is honestly being crowded by these grown thoughts. Reality is catching up with me. Taking my inner child, I'm fighting for custody with these responsibilities that they entrusted me. And that's a moment where he is really speaking about how hard it is. Like when you're saying, no, this is what I believe. And they say, you're not allowed to believe that. You feel like you are fighting for custody of yourself. And I want to be very clear that I believe, in fact, I know that towards the end, Charlie was fighting for custody of himself. I want to say that. I want to say that plainly. And there are lies that are being told and they need to be slapped down right now. There's one person who's been out there acting like he is a widow, just saying the absolute most, tweeting first about what happened to Charlie, following it minute to minute, and doing hits in a foreign country, right? Like making time to do hits on Fox News, 2 of them. Bibi Netanyahu who's fighting, I think, like an 84 front war with everyone, made a lot of time for Charlie Kirk. You would have thought they were the best of friends, as close as him and Trump were. But I will say I don't recall Erica mentioning Bibi Netanyahu in her speech. The way he's presenting it is like he was this is just the worst loss for him, but I don't think that is the truth. In fact, I know for a fact that he is misrepresenting some things that happened there towards the end. So let's at first listen to what Bibi Netanyahu just one day, less than 24 hours after Charlie died, what Bibi Netanyahu had to say on Fox News. Take a listen.
We're just heartbroken. Myself, my wife, my family, my son actually, on his 2019 visit to Israel, had lunch with him and his wife, Erica. We're shattered first as human beings because a great human being has been taken from us. Was an extraordinary friend. He said, he wrote me a letter on May 2nd this year. He said, one of my greatest joys as a Christian is advocating.
Yo, I'm back. What happened? Did she cook or?
To defend Judeo-Christian civilization. A few weeks before the tragedy yesterday, I called him and I spoke to him and I said, please come to Israel. I invited him to Israel. And sadly, that visit will not take place. But he was a defender of our common Judeo-Christian civilization. He was unbelievably excited to walk in the footsteps of Jesus here. He valued.
Do you think she's gonna pick up the points that I picked up? Even if it's only 50%, that would be huge.
To defend free speech, he had his truth. He stood up for it. But he said, "You can come and debate me." He invited that debate. He certainly didn't invite the violence, the horrible violence that tried to silence him. And this is a worldwide problem. The people on the extreme.
My clips to Candace.
The radical Islamists and the.
My shit is just for my boys here.
Progressives.
I don't care. I don't need to go viral.
They speak about free speech, but they use violence to try to take down their enemies, whether it's President Trump, who's been almost assassinated twice, or they try to kill me here too. But they got Charlie Kirk, and it's just heartbreaking.
Who is they, BB? Who is they? Got Charlie Kirk.
Who is they, you fucking
we don't have to
faggot?
actually speak conspiracies. I'm just wondering, because you said a lot there, but it really sounded like it was about BB trying to establish a narrative that we saw reinforced by a lot of people. That Charlie kind of made it almost sound like he died for Israel. I mean, Trump's account even tweeted out a photo of Charlie and an American flag and also an Israeli flag, a bit of AI used, like this is just who Charlie was. He says Judeo-Christian values. He spoke to him 2 weeks ago. Again, you would think he was busy fighting this 97,000 front war, but no, he's letting you know that he just randomly picks up the phone and calls Charlie Kirk and invites him to Israel? Why would BB do that? It seems like maybe there's a little more to the story. No, there definitely is a little bit more to the story. First and foremost, that letter he is holding up, he is severely misrepresenting. Those sentences are real, but I am calling upon Bibi Netanyahu, the dear friend to Charlie Kirk, to publish the letter's entire contents. Like, don't start with just 2 sentences. Publish the entire thing. You're holding it. I'm saying you're severely misrepresenting the contents, that in May, Charlie was concerned about Israel and their influence on American politics and how they were pushing things that he felt were in conflict with his beliefs, free speech here in America. Bibi's holding it up like Charlie just in May said, hey, you know what? I just want to write a love letter to Israel. That's how it was presented. Would you guys agree? That's not how it happened. Now, regarding that phone call and that invite, that also needs to be contextualized. And I'm going to do that. But first, Skylar, can we bring in a clip of Charlie from a month ago speaking about the kind of pressure that he was under? Because I think that will also help to further contextualize this. Take a listen.
I'm an American citizen. Yes, I want Israel to win. Yes, I'm a Christian. But some of the mess, and you've seen how I've been treated, Megan, by some, not all, by some.
No, it's very irritating.
It's
been so unfair. They were coming after you after Turning Point for, among other things, that you had Dave Smith there. Dave Smith is allowed to criticize Israel. You had both sides. The Israeli side was overrepresented.
Though. No, you're not allowed to. It's even worse than that. Again, I just want to repeat for the 5th time. I love Israel. I want Israel to win. But my moral character is now being put into question, Megan. Not my decisions. Not like, hey, are you doing this? Is it smart or is it dumb? But no, I am a bad person if I do this. And I could go, you saw it, Megan. It was trending on Twitter, thousands of tweets and text messages. And if I were to be charitable and generous, I will say the people that are attacking me are in a hyper paranoid state because they're at war, and war tends to make things black and white, and you're a hammer looking for a nail. So I'm trying to be charitable, Megan. Literally, I'm trying to cut as much slack as I can, right? Like, okay, what would it be like if all of a sudden I'm starting to see a pattern of behavior similar to what my grandparents saw in 1930s Germany online? How would I behave? So that's like my charitable kind of overcompensation spirit. At the same time, I'm like, but it's not defensible to be dumb, right?
No, it's not defensible to be dumb, and he was under an increasing amount of pressure, not just people telling him, oh, well, I'm upset with who you're inviting, but flat out telling him that he was not allowed to invite certain people to his events. They were threatening to pull out money. Charlie was getting a lot of really nasty text messages, and many of them pertaining to Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens. But Tucker Carlson was really the focus when it came to America Fest. How could Charlie allow these debates about Israel to take place? How could he allow Dave Smith, who, by the way, is Jewish, how could how could Charlie allow this other position to meet the stage? Because obviously when people start to hear the debates, what Dave Smith is saying sounds so rational, but it was up to Charlie to not allow those things to happen. And that amount of pressure towards the end, as you see that conversation he had with Meghan was just a month before he lost his life. Really, I would say, reached a pinnacle of sorts on the matter of what Tucker Carlson actually said on that stage. Tucker Carlson, while he was on that stage at Turning Point, brought up Bill Ackman. Bill Ackman is a billionaire, obviously. He is also an extremely litigious billionaire. And Bill Ackman was on Charlie about comments that Tucker Carlson had made on that stage. Tucker Carlson specifically asked the question,
good night, man.
Where does Bill Ackman's money come from? You know, who is this guy? Actually, who is this guy that has this much influence? And like I said, Bill Ackman was not happy about this. And so I would like to contextualize Bibi. Again, these are things Bibi brought up publicly, which he didn't have to. He didn't have to bring up the letter. He didn't have to bring up the phone call, but he chose to do this less than 24 hours after Charlie Kirk was shot. Personally, Bibi, I would have appreciated if you guys used all of your spyware, you'd spying on us for years, to maybe track down the killer, but I guess this is where you thought it was best to do a little propaganda for Israel would be better than us helping us track down the killer. But anyway, so Bibi Netanyahu in that phone call, what took place was a couple of weeks ago before Charlie lost his life. Charlie was in the Hamptons and he had more than one event, but he had essentially what was staged, an intervention was staged by Bill Ackman, because Charlie's rational thoughts about Israel were a no-no. This is not the route that you should be going on. And Charlie was surrounded by his friends, his quote-unquote friends. Bill Ackman was very upset and threats were made. That is what I am told, and I will tell you that I am very happy for Bill Ackman to dispute this narrative. In fact, he was asked to dispute this narrative. Max Blumenthal went.
I told you he got threatened
today, and Bill Ackman came back and said, "I have receipts I can show you," and he did not provide the receipts. This is not how it went down. I know it went down this way. I'm waiting for one of them to go on record and to say that it didn't go down this way. It was at this time that Bibi Netanyahu was called and Charlie was invited to Israel. This was an under duress situation, I would say, because I've been in these situations before. When I started asking very sensible questions about Israel, as someone who had dedicated her political life to supporting Israel, many times alongside Charlie Kirk, I was met with the very same pressure. And just like Charlie was being invited to Israel, I was invited somewhere else. And when this arrived to me, it felt like a threat. You know, I gotta tell you that. It felt like a threat. Like, not like, hey, come here and we can educate you because you're my friend. More like, this is your last chance. That's how it felt to me. I can't speak to how it felt to Charlie. And I know that Charlie was offered a ton of money in this moment.
200K, I think.
Funded, you know.
I think 200K.
Tons of money. And Turning Point, I guess, if it needed to go to a higher level, would have gone to an even higher level than it already was at. And I know for a fact that Charlie denied that funding. That Charlie denied, and what Bibi didn't include there, he declined to go to Israel for, I would describe this as like, you know, re-education camp. You know, we've seen it.
She's doing good so
far.
far.
Oh, but we can help you. You know, we just need you to come out to Auschwitz and take a picture. Yeah. We just need you to come to the Holocaust Museum and take a photo. We just need you to go to Israel and we can make this better.
Holocaust Museum.
Charlie said no to Bibi.
Suck my dick.
Bill Ackman, if you would like to dispute that, I would love to hear what you say happened. Because our sources and what we have, it's solid, okay? There were conversations that took place, messages that were sent at that time, and they are solid. So I decided another person that was there, and I am not surprised this person was there. If you've been listening to my show, Seth Dillon. I was going to go out to Seth Dillon, and I decided to message him last night about this Hamptons meeting.
Isn't Seth Dillon a Jew?
Dillon, who is normally very quick with a response, has not yet been able to respond. I'll show you this text message chain. And I want to be clear, I am not someone who normally publicizes text messages. But my friend was shot in the neck. And I'm just not really in the state right now to be polite when it comes to the answers that I am demanding, okay? This is me out to Seth Dillon last night. I sent him Bill Ackman's tweets because, you know...
You're not going to get an answer. That's a Jew, man.
I'm privileged to have spent a day and shared a meal with Charlie Kirk this summer. He was a giant of a man. I said, any comment on this one, Seth? He didn't answer last night. This morning I said, need a comment ASAP, please? He didn't answer. Then I followed that up and I said, trying again here, you were present when Ackman lost his mind on Charlie and when Bibi invited him to Israel.
I told you this is not only some planted Medusa is crazy stuff. I told you.
Ackman's statement, as though the meeting was somehow cordial, to be incredibly disturbing. Are you at all disturbed by that tweet? Do you feel, as I do, that this tweet significantly betrays the defined purpose and mood of his, and I presume your, final meeting with Charlie Kirk? ? He was unable to speak to me, but he did place some frantic calls to Turning Point USA. Yeah. You see, I went out to Seth, but I also went out to two other people who were at this meeting, and nobody is willing to go on record. They're all messaging each other, trying to figure out a coordinated response to say that, no, this was all quite cordial, but no one wants to go on record and describe it as cordial because they know someone's leaking, because someone's got a guilty conscience about what happened at the Hamptons. So I will again put it out there, Seth, Bill Ackman, and to the other individuals who I have not yet named, but who are going to be named later this week. We're at the Hamptons when Charlie was put under pressure, when Bibi Netanyahu called him and invited him to Israel, again in a move that when it happened to me, and it wasn't Bibi Netanyahu, felt to me like a laced threat. I am inviting you guys, I will give you my platform, actually, to come clear matters up and tell us what really happened. Because, you know, I think Charlie was definitely on the brink of changing some of his perspectives. And I can tell you factually, Charlie was praying the rosary. Charlie was going to Mass. One of my last conversations with Charlie was me joking with him saying, just make the last step, okay? You are, I said specifically, you're too smart to be a Protestant. Just take the last step, Charlie. And he says, ha ha. He was speaking about Mary. And typically when those steps start taking place, you stop referring to yourself, as I did, as a Judeo-Christian. Again, it is mystifying why, you know, Bibi was out there doing the absolute most to make sure that Charlie was basically remembered as, I would argue, like a Jew, has not been yet mentioned. I didn't hear that. Erica was very clear that Charlie was a Christian, and I believe Charlie obviously was very much a Christian, and that things are not being told truthfully. In fact, I will also call upon, since we're having fun, Turning Point USA to release the audio of what Charlie Kirk, because I was in communication with Charlie at this time, because I knew exactly which donors were pressuring him and why, exactly which people that they were insisting Charlie allowed to speak at his event and why, when Charlie did not necessarily want those people to speak at his event, okay? I'm calling upon Turning Point to release the footage of what Charlie said to Tucker Carlson before he hit the stage, before, you know, all of that craziness and the response to Tucker Carlson's remarks.
They wanted him to stop to talk to Tucker also.
Surely Tucker Carlson was mic'd. I know Charlie's mic'd the entire time at those events, so I'm asking for everyone to just release Charlie in his own words. I feel like that's pretty fair, right? Let's stop saying how Charlie felt, and instead, if you're going to hold up the letter, release it in its entirety, okay? Why don't you release your messages, Bill? I'll release mine. Let's all just be very forthcoming about what took place. In fact, I'm calling upon Tucker Carlson to speak about that. I know what Charlie said to him, and I'm sure Tucker Carlson won't lie about it. What did Charlie say to you? Dave Smith, what did Charlie say to you? What was Charlie? Did he seem like he was treading in the direction? Like, do we feel like what BB is saying is honest, a representation of what Charlie was going through? This is what I want. I think that the thing that we need here, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Now, does all of this mean that Bibi Netanyahu and that this somehow proves that Israel was involved in the assassination of Charlie Kirk? No, we have no evidence of that. We can't say that because there is no evidence of that. But I don't like little lies. That's what I will say. Something that I always say in my household is, when there is one lie, there's 20. There's no reason to lie. Bibi could have gone on Fox News and he could have told the truth. He could have said truthfully that Charlie Kirk has always loved Israel. He has always loved Israel as the Holy Land. He's been here many times, and throughout his career, he has been a faithful supporter of Israel. That's not what he said. Okay. He talks about the phone call and didn't give it the proper context. He held up the letter and didn't give it the proper context. And lies by severe omission, I'd like to be very clear, are lies. Lies by severe omission are lies. You're not going to gaslight us and tell us to shut up or call us anti-Semitic for pointing out the fact that Charlie was having a change of heart about the tactics that Israel was using in America, and that he felt when he had left that meeting that he had effectively been blackmailed. Again, my platform is yours, Seth Dillon. My platform is yours, Bill Ackman. So if you want to clarify it, we can do it in front of millions, okay? And I think that that's what people deserve, because everyone has PTSD. We watched Charlie get shot in the throat. That feels a little bit symbolic. It feels like they wanted us to know that his voice was problematic. Again, I don't know who they is. After we take this brief break, we're going to go through the investigation, which seems to have a lot of inconsistencies and holes in it. And we're definitely not yet at the bottom of what in fact took place. But I do know that I severely distrust people who rush to misrepresent things. And it's not a good sign when somebody has to ask you, as Greta Van Susteren asked Bibi Netanyahu in his secondary hit regarding Charlie Kirk's assassination. It's not a good sign if somebody even has to ask if you did have anything to do with the assassination.
She forgets about the JIT.
Okay? And that's what she asked him. Take a listen.
Before I let you go, I want you to address one thing, and it's just the absurdity of it. Some of the internet rumors that somehow Israel is behind the Charlie Kirk murder, and I don't believe it for 1 second. But I want
that
you to,
woman is Jewish.
Make a statement. It's so absurd.
That's insane. That's insane. Israel also changes the orbit of the moon. Israel pushes the sun. I mean, the whole thing is—it's not only insane. I think it's so absurd, so stupid, and so ridiculous. You can't believe that people are saying this. They just found the perpetrator. They'll get to the bottom of this. But they go, they have no limits. When you hate Jews, when you hate the Jewish state, you're willing to say anything and promote all these absurd rumors. And by the way, they're willing to kill us all the time. I mean, that's what they're doing. And over the centuries, when Jews, especially in the Middle Ages, the horrific Middle Ages, the worst things were said about Jews you couldn't possibly believe. We were poisoning the wells. We were drinking the blood of Christian children. You name it. I mean, these things, that continued actually.
You still do that?
The Nazis said the same thing. We're carrying vermin. We're spreading disease. And people believed it. And every time they believed
With spreading disease, they meant mental disease like LGBTQ, you fucking faggot.
Culminating with the worst massacre of them all, the Holocaust.
Well, he's mentioned the Holocaust. Guess we can't prod the narrative any further, guys. Holocaust, so everybody's just stopped talking about anything. I mean, hey, he's the victim. It's absurd. It's just absurd. The Holocaust happened. You heard him. We're sick of this shit.
I fuck the Holocaust.
And there will be no narrative that I will not prod when it comes to figuring out why people are lying about the state that Charlie was in when it came to the topic of Israel. Again, you can examine Charlie in his own words. He was starting to talk about topics that you're not really allowed to talk about when you take money and big checks are being written.
Hey, we just killed Charlie Kirk.
He was telling the truth even about.
Can you please focus on the Holocaust? You fucking bastards. Goyim, man. Why doesn't he call us Goyim straight away, bro? I would appreciate it.
Just a second as we...
That Epstein, with his little friend Ghislaine and Ghislaine's father, Robert Maxwell, who was obviously a spy of the Israeli intelligence agencies, that there was something else going on here. Epstein was not some sort of whiz-kid hedge fund manager. Epstein was playing a part. Epstein was a LARPer. Epstein was cast for a specific role, and he played it really well. The sweatpants and the Harvard jacket.
Killed him. That killed him.
Kind of disheveled hair, looking as if he was so smart and above the clouds that he was doing advanced mathematic equations on the back of napkins. But if you actually go into some of the videos of people that met with Epstein at the time, they said he was awfully unimpressive when it came to finance and markets and economics. And it's nothing new that if you're in the intel agencies, you want to try and get as much blackmail on powerful people as possible. Easy, not hard. And this is no longer just speculation. First of all, the evidence that shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli intelligence, American intelligence, Saudi intelligence, or maybe he was just a hired gun. Maybe he was just the guy that countries would
He knows he was Mossad, by the way. He just says that
say, hey,
because he's scared.
Get one of the members of the royal family with a 13-year-old so we can get them to do what we want to do. Members of Congress are actively being blackmailed. The Epstein playbook is being used on a daily basis. Jeffrey Epstein was not a financier. He was not a hedge fund manager. Jeffrey Epstein was a key player in a multi-decade blackmail operation against the most powerful people on the planet.
And Trump is also getting blackmailed. Don't forget this.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. It seems to conflict with Bibi's narrative a little bit. Yeah, just a tiny bit. I do want to say this. It's important because I am angry. I will obviously, I pray to move on from this phase, but it's a fire in my belly right now. To those of you who think that you are going to replace Charlie Kirk, okay? Kings are born. You don't just get to depose and tell us that we're going to follow this individual, okay? I'm one of the Masons of Turning Point USA. You put a shill
What did she say?
Kirk's chair in Charlie Kirk's company, and you try to tell us to follow that individual, I will be an enemy of you. There will be nothing that can stop me. Okay? And I want you guys to understand, this is not a threat. This is a promise. There will be nothing that can stop me. I will release every single text message. So to those of you who are trying that,
I'm one of the Masons
I am telling
of
you to back
TPUSA.
off right now.
I'm one of the builders, but
Right
why would you
now.
say
Don't
Mason?
do it, okay? Don't you think about it. I know exactly who you are. I know exactly who you were that were exerting pressure. Don't you pretend to be noble now and say nice things about Charlie Kirk and think you're going to slide into his chair, okay?
Bro, why would
Over
you
my
say
dead
Mason,
body,
bro, if
which
you
I'm
want to
sure
say you are one of the
can be.
builders? Who says Mason
Now,
for that?
I'm going to take a pause. We're going to go to some sponsors, and then we're going to get into what we are being told by the agencies. There are definitely some holes. Maybe more is coming out. First, this is fantastic that Preborn is doing this. Every
What is she
heartbeat
doing
tells a
with her
story,
hand?
And at Preborn, they give moms in crisis the chance to hear that heartbeat for free. And that's exactly why I partner with Preborn, because Preborn
she
isn't
is
out
not
to judge
doing
women.
that.
They're making motherhood possible. They provide free
Coincidence,
ultrasounds.
huh?
They share the gospel of Jesus Christ. And more importantly, they stay after the baby is born with real practical support by giving expecting mothers diapers, baby clothes, and even housing and financial help for up to 2 years after the baby is born. That is what true Christ-centered compassion looks like, and that's how you can be a part of it. For just $28, you will give a mom a free ultrasound, one chance to see her baby, and when she does, she's twice as likely to choose life. Preborn is on a mission to save 70,000 babies this year, so don't just say that you're pro-life, you can also live that. To donate now, you can call 855-601-2229 or head to preborn.com/Candace. Again, that's preborn.com/Candace. Also remind you guys about GNO land, because what if smart contract platforms weren't controlled
Fuck
by
this
elite
Jewish
business?
shit.
What if they were actually built by
Good night,
for
man.
real
Heil
builders,
Hitler.
you know, the people? That's the question that GNO land asked, and that's why they built GNO land. They started with Golang, which is a Golang, which is a language that real-world developers already use, and they build a platform all around that. It's transparent, it's intuitive, and it makes sense. Not some confusing system of ones and zeros. It is open source, so imagine GitHub, but designed for on-chain collaboration and composability. Builders actually get credit for their work.